Everyone that's on the call, how many of you feel you may have some trouble visualizing? Anyone on the call having trouble visualizing?
It like comes and goes.
How often do you practice?
I guess not as often as I should. I daydream a lot, but not like meditate like we just did.
Do you feel a
I
difference?
know we're supposed to be doing it. Yes.
What's the difference?
I was actually getting emotionally in there. I was there. And then when I daydream, it's like you said, it just thought trips.
Hmm.
And then we get distracted. We come back to what we're doing. And I know we're supposed to be doing this every time, but you know how they say life gets in the way. We start working, we start doing everything.
What is that that's getting in the way?
Ourselves.
Yep, that's the program. It's the old self. That life that's getting in the way, it's the old self-image. The distractions are not there on accident. They're on purpose. When you don't decide on purpose, the old self-image has its purpose. Are we beginning to understand? We are living a life-fulfilling cycle of an old self-image or the new one. Always in advance. Why? Because life needs order. And because life needs order, it needs direction and directive. And because it needs direction and directive, if you're not giving it direction and directive, it will go back to the old self-image. Right? As we really begin to understand this, we need to assert, direct life in the direction that we want it to be fulfilled. When we begin to do this thing that we call life happens will be us happening. It will not be life happening anymore. It's us that's happening. This is a creator's lifestyle.
Abraham?
Yes?
I've even gotten to where if I feel that I have thought trips or mental clutter, just a lot of distraction late in the evening, the same kind of music that we were meditating to, I'll put that on and put my headphones and just lay down, close my eyes, and that it connects me back to clearing my mind and just putting myself in that meditative, just to clear the clutter, just to the distractions, all of that. And just, to me, I find it's the easiest way to fall asleep instead of I'm going on these thought trips and I'm just thinking about this and thinking about that. And I find it hard to sometimes just calmly fall asleep without all these distractions constantly taking me back. All this, just a lot going through my mind. So to me, it's a good way of calming the mind and just falling asleep with that music on. And it just realigns me, if anything. So.
Very good. What you're doing as well, though, is you decided that you're going to rest in the assumption with the music in that directive. That's the purpose. Would you agree? No
Yes.
longer.
And
Go ahead.
even that, automatically, when I wake up, it's on a good vibration. I mean, it's not like seeing it from exhaustion or back to the things that were on my mind back and forth when I was about to lay down. It's more. I feel more enlightened, put it that way. So yeah, it just to me, it's something that I've started doing here. Not, it's been a while now, but I'll get off of that and notice the difference. So automatically, I'm just going back to listening to that meditation music when I'm going to go to sleep. I'll just put that on, and it really relaxes me.
Very good.
And even that, I go into that creative state when I'm I want to eliminate the distractions and the clutter of those thought trips. So when I put that on, automatically it's resetting you to that creative, to use the imagination. And I take my dreams to that, even more connected. So yeah.
You're going there on purpose to a definite end. And that's focusing and holding your vision of what you want to see and eliminate the distractions of everything else. Now, again, do y'all think it's an accident that the minute we want to focus on our vision and we want to go into our vision, that all of a sudden, all the rest of the ideas that we cannot focus on during the day want to come in and focus in at the same time? Who's doing that? Why is it all of a sudden the focus that you couldn't have to focus on the other things that you should have been doing are not there, but the minute you decide that you want to focus into the vision or your direction of what you want to see, all of a sudden the other ideas start showing up? You think that's on purpose? Whose purpose?
No, it's funny that you say that, because you don't even think about it like that. So it's actually, it's funny. I'm here laughing because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, yes.
Who's doing that on purpose? The old self-image trying to reassert itself. Which one? How often?
It just goes to show you how strong it is. So yeah, it's to be very aware of that.
Good. The reason I bring this up is for awareness. Which one? There can only be one. There can only be one. So here, when you're working towards a vision and you're working towards seeing yourself in that vision, and who you are in that vision, there is a time where you're reaffirming a new state and you're letting go of an old one, but recognize and stay in the one state. Now, who is fulfilling my life? What is fulfilling my life? What do I want to allow to live in me? That's beautiful. What do I want to allow to live in me? And we have a choice. But you got to let one go and give space, and you have to direct the new one. They gave us a self-image. We did this so perfectly when we were little. We just accepted everything around us. We took it as true. What we need to do is go back to being like children again. Open mind and accept the new vision. We have to fulfill it. It's up to us now to redesign it. Redesign the model, sit down and rest in the assumption, and go back there as many times as we can. And it's through practice. If we haven't perfected it yet, you keep practicing till you get it. That's what you do. And you're going to see, because you're working on you, you're going to start to become successful. Why? Why do we become successful when we work on us? Because you're working on the only thing that could be us. Why is this so important? Because it's your whole life. And you're the center of it. My mind is the center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone before. Something entirely new, not including in the past experience, though proceeding out of it in an ordinary sequence of growth. Therefore, since the divine cannot change its inherent nature, I'm the divine. We've got to intervene, select, go there every day. Go there 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. Set an alarm on your phone. Set an alarm that you're going to go back, and at these moments of time, you're going to give to who? to me, to realign myself with my vision of who I am, to recognize who's thinking, to remember what you should be remembering, not somebody else's some other person's path, not somebody else's belief. Go back to purifying yourself. You're the only thing that can change you. That's it. We're going into decisions. Why decision? Why is it important to make sound decisions, definite decisions? Because the minute you do, you're up to another path. The minute you can make that permanent decision. And from here, I'm not going. I will not waver. From here, we go to another place. The minute you make a definite decision, and immediately you make a decision that you're going to stop a thought, you're going to control the flow, and you're moving in that direction, the body starts to say and understand we have a commander. He's now taken control of what? I always say destiny and the balance. Whose balance? Well, this begins to be my own. My own. Destiny and the balance. Whose? My own. Decision. Decision is the mastery of procrastination. Accurate analysis of over 25,000 men and women who have experienced failure disclose a fact that lack of decision was near the head of the list of the 30 major causes of failure. This is no mere statement of a theory, it is a fact. Let's look here. Procrastination is the opposite of decision. This is a common enemy which practically every man must conquer. You will have an opportunity to test your capacity to reach quick and definite decisions when you finish reading this book and are ready to begin putting it into action. The principles which it describes. What is it? What does this mean? Accurate analysis. If we start to study people, we begin to see mindsets. When I look at somebody, I know that I'm looking at the conscious and the subconscious and the body. And I know that the higher of him, he will never see. The higher side of him, he'll never see. But will he understand? We live in a physical plane. We have an intellect. And then we have our spiritual essence. The higher side of him, he may never see. But we know that there's a transference of energy and ideas that are moving to and through the body. And as that man or woman thinks, we understand and we know that there's energy flowing. Now, what ideas is he or she releasing? I brought this up to Zach the other day. They make movies to illustrate and put symbolism in them. And I always bring a dot as a mindset, the center, and then an outer ring. The dot in the center is the way you think. It's your point of departure, the ideas that you release. That which takes form from it is the outer ring. The day comes that we leave life. That means spirit leaves. Science can measure this. The day that spirit leaves the body flatlines and immediately begins to decompose. You sit there long enough, you'll watch it disappear into the nothing again. And it appeared from the nothing. Right? And everything that's heavier than air gravitates towards its center. So everything that was a part of that man's ring, that was in his ring, will be scattered to the four corners of the earth. Why? Because there's nothing to what? Keep it there anymore. Everything's energy. So we're the attractive force, and everybody has a center, and everybody has an expression of it. When we make a decision to change the current of our own thinking, to change the direction of our own self, to rewrite the self, we bring in a new set of what? People, places, plots, circumstances. I made the illustration, Lord of the Rings. Makes a story. Lord of the Ring. There can only be one. Why? There can only be one master of his own domain. And everything that's heavier than air must gravitate towards the center. And you've got to let go of everything that began in you if you want to rewrite you. Right? And everybody is the one. Here, indecision, procrastination, means not able to decide. Of what? Of what? Of everything. Because everything was a decision. There's not one point where decision begins and ends, because everything in the life cycle was a decision. We have decided consciously or unconsciously to play with all the ideas that we have. And you can decide right now which ones you will accept and which ones you will reject. Write them down. Why wouldn't you go through yourself and the self-analysis and review everything that you're thinking, all your beliefs? Why would you not analyze your beliefs and write every belief down that you have and make a decision that you're rewriting them? And grab 2 or 3 ideas for 30, 60 days. I say 90 days, and repeat over and over the opposite of it so you can reach the state of fulfillment and feeling and know it as true. And if you were to do this mental exercise for a year, who would you be? If everything's a program and the program is written in the subconscious, why wouldn't you take a list and identify all the things that I've been basing my life on, that I think from, and start 2 at a time and see where I would be at in 3, 6, 9. Why wouldn't I? Why haven't I not even thought about it? Decisions. Who's thinking? And if we really were thinking, what would we be doing what we're doing? You will have an opportunity to test your capacity to reach quick and definite decisions when you finish reading this book. Well, the test was always here. The test was always now. The only thing we have is right now. And it's not when you finish the book. Analysis of several hundred people who have accumulated fortunes well beyond the $1 million mark disclosed the fact that every one of them had the habit of reaching decisions promptly and of changing these decisions slowly, if and when they were changed. People who fail to accumulate money without exception have the habit of reaching decisions, if at all, very slowly, and of changing these decisions quickly and often. Now let's look at the difference. An analysis of several hundred people who had accumulated fortunes well beyond the $1 million mark disclosed the fact that every one of them had the habit of reaching decisions promptly, to make decisions promptly, and of changing these decisions slowly, if and when they were changed. People who fail to accumulate money, without exception, have the habit of reaching decisions, if at all. If at all. If at all. Why would somebody not make a decision anymore? If at all. It means you have reached the extension of your what? Program. So once you get to what you know how to do, and when it goes beyond what you know how to do, this is the if at all. Why would you not choose beyond what you know how to do? Because there's no cells of recognition and you don't know what to do next. And because there's no cells of recognition, and you don't know what to do next, and everywhere you're getting to an end point of what you know how to do, you just stop. And because the mind needs order and it doesn't know what to do anymore, and you did not intervene and say, okay, we don't know what to do next, but we're going to stop. Body, you're going to stop, and you're not going to jump back to your old self-image and go change your mind and just ignore. We both saw and we both understand we have reached the extension of what we know how to do here. We're not going to ignore it and just jump back to our belief and just act like we both didn't see anything and go do busy work. We're not going to do that this time. That's awareness.